So we can officially begin. Thanks for joining. We're very happy to have you on the call, and everyone else from around the world who managed to join today. I will leave it to Lina to start with what she has prepared, and the recording. Maybe we can officially start it now. Thank you, Lina. Over to you.
Thank you, Bushra. A very warm welcome to everyone present here today to the inception meeting of Homegrown Sustainable and Scalable Shelter Solutions in Somalia. Today is in fact the first time that all of us are meeting. The coordinators, all of our partners, the government, the universities that we are collaborating with, the students, most importantly, welcome to this most awaited launch. And thank you today for joining and giving us your time. So as we go through the agenda today, we'll have opening remarks by Minister Elmi from the Ministry of Public Works, Reconstruction and Housing of Somalia. And then we'll have a short introduction by IOM as well. After the opening session, we'll have brief introduction sessions from the mentors and the advisors. And then we'll discuss very briefly the project brief. And then we'll just open the floor for a 15-minute Q&A to address questions from everyone. Over to Minister Elmi for the opening remarks from the Ministry of Public Works, Reconstruction and Housing of Somalia. Thank you.
Thank you very much, and good afternoon, everybody. It is a great honor to welcome you all to this important initiative that marks a new chapter in how we as a nation address one of our most pressing challenges, the shelter and dignity of our displaced communities. Today, as we launch the Homegrown Sustainable and Scalable Shelter Solutions Program, we are proud to lead a truly collaborative effort that brings together local contexts and cultural norms, knowledge, and international standards to create a meaningful housing solutions for internally displaced persons across Somalia. The Ministry of Public Works, Reconstruction and Housing is committed to driving a housing agenda that is not only technically sound, but also culturally compatible, cost-effective, and scalable. We understand the shelter is more than a structure. It is about safety, privacy, community, dignity, and hope for the future. This is why we have emphasized that any solution designed under this initiative must be reflected Somali values, Islamic norms, and family-centered design. Through this partnership with IOM and YAG Academy, and with the active involvement of Somali university students, local professionals and institutes, and our diaspora experts, we intend in this exercise to exemplify inclusive design and national ownership at its best. We are particularly enthusiastic about the upcoming design competition that will take place over the coming weeks, not only because it promises to showcase brilliant ideas, but also because the final and winning design will be formally endorsed by the ministry as a part of national shelter models. The recommended design by the ministry will serve as a blueprint for all NGOs, UN agencies, and development partners in their future shelter initiatives, ensuring a uniform standard of excellence, dignity, and sustainability. Furthermore, we take great pride in the involvement of our ministry team in the mentorship panel and collaborating with internationally acclaimed architects to uphold the technical robustness of the proposals while ensuring alignment with the cultural and policy considerations. I express my gratitude to our collaborators at IOM and YAG Academy, as well as all the students, mentors, and institutions engaged in this experimental journey. Let us collaboratively construct not merely residences, but the prospective vision of our community, anchored in integrity, tenacity, indigenous solutions, or local predicaments. We are really very interested to see the outcome and see the results so that it could be a long-lasting example and standard. With these words, thank you very much all, and I wish you all the best and successful journey and fruitful discussion. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Minister Elmi. It was indeed very, very nice to hear from the ministry themselves about the thoughts about the initiative, and we are very equally excited to be working together on this initiative. Next, we have Prestage Murima, who is the Deputy Deputy Chief of Mission of IOM Somalia. Over to Prestage for her opening remarks. Thank you.
Thank you very much, and colleagues, friends from around the world, good afternoon. My apologies, I'm unable to put my video. I'm on my way to the airport, so it's a bit of a bumpy ride, and I don't want you to experience that with me. It is truly an honor to support such an impressive array of partners and to be a part of a pivotal moment in Somalia's shelter and housing journey. Your Excellency, thank you so much for all that you have said and the commitments on your end as the Minister. And us as IOM, we do acknowledge that Somalia is one of the fastest urbanizing countries in sub-Saharan Africa. And we know for a fact that by next year, the majority of Somalis will live in cities. And that is a big task and challenge ahead of all of us. Displacement and human mobility are projected to increase as the country confronts climate challenges, supports labor mobility for economic growth, and continue its support to stabilization and peace efforts. The changes ahead, Your Excellency and partners, including those that are affecting the international system, demand that we rethink collectively our approaches to support migrants, communities in displacement, or those at risk of displacement. This includes reimagining shelter as a safe, scalable, sustainable accelerators of human development, which must be rooted in local realities. And that is why what we are doing collectively together today is such of great importance. This initiative is a testament to the progress that Somalia has made in its reconstruction journey. And Somalia has talent that will benefit Somali communities in their journey to recovery. By combining local knowledge with global design thinking and involving Somali students and professionals, we're building more than structures. We're building ownership, dignity, and long-term resilience. As IOM, we are proud to support this effort and look forward to the innovative solutions that will emerge in the weeks ahead. Thank you so much for your attention, and I wish you all a great meeting. Back to you.
Thank you, Prestage. Thank you for joining us despite your busy schedule. Now, I'm kindly requesting Boshra, who is the program manager of the shelter unit of IOM Somalia, to kindly formally introduce the initiative and walk us through the objectives and the outcomes. Thank you.
Thanks, Lina. Okay, I just want to start a little bit more now, going to the technical parts, starting with what we are doing now, why we are all here today. As you know, we are here to work on this initiative to design the low-cost housing solutions for internally displaced persons in Somalia. And we are collaborating with many different partners across the world for making this happen. Lina, can you please go to the next slide? Over the past years, humanitarians in Somalia have built different shelter typologies as it was appropriate based on the location, based on the budget, the feedback from the community, and they vary all across Somalia. However, what we see is that there is a huge demand at the moment and the resources are very limited. We also have to consider the climate change in Somalia and that maybe the previous ways that people used to build the houses, the materials may not be available for them anymore. So with all these challenges, we thought that a new perspective is needed and we need to think beyond the conventional methods and ideas that were used over the past years. And for this, we need new ideas. We need different minds coming together and thinking about what can it be. And we want this to be collaborative. We don't want this to be only, this time, only the humanitarians who are working together and designing it. We want this to come from the Somali talents. We want this to also benefit from the international knowledge and expertise. And we want this to be a collaboration between different actors who are interested to change the way that we are building the houses in Somalia. Next slide, please. So the objective of this program is mainly to look at three different components that we put together. One is about the solutions that we're looking for. What can be a shelter solution for Somalia that is within the low cost budgets that we're having? We put $2,200 as a limit for this design. It needs to be scalable. As I mentioned, the need is so high. So if the solution is not scalable, it cannot be something adaptable for Somalia. And it needs to be sustainable. We also look into the multi-stakeholder engagement. We need it to be a collaborative design and we want to leverage the homegrown talents. Next slide, Lina, please. And the expected outcome. So though you may think of the expected outcome as just the shelter itself, but I want to just say it again and again that for us, shelter is a process. It's a process of thinking, process of working towards the idea, the process of implementation, and finally the shelter as a solution. At the moment, we worked a lot to bring this network together to make sure that the process of design, we are trying to bring all the stakeholders together to have a good process for designing the shelter. Then it comes the process of implementation. When you're designing, when you're thinking, maybe you can also think of creative ideas, how this implementation can be different. How can people support the construction of the shelter? What else can be combined when the process of construction is going on? And then finally the shelter or housing as its own product. Next slide, please. Yeah, and as you all know, all of us together, we are starting this thinking together, and we have different collaborators and partners in this program. I hand it over now to Lina to start the introduction of different partners that we have. Over from my side. Thank you.
Thank you, Bushra. And here I would like to introduce myself. My name is Lina, and I work with the IOM Shelter Unit. I'm based in Nairobi. So as Bushra was mentioning, the role of a multi-stakeholder engagement was very important for us. It was, in fact, the crux of this initiative, the foundation, and why we started. Right, and we think that rethinking the way of how we are doing shelter and settlements programming in Somalia is the way to go forward. Not say the possible outcomes of generating shelter solutions. Yes, it is one of the outcomes, but then what we are stressing more is the collaboration that we are trying to build here. And this is why, as you can see in the screen, we are collaborating with a number of stakeholders, starting with the government of Somalia. We have the Ministry of Public Works. We have the academia with us here. For I think it's one of the very first times that we are collaborating with academic institutions. We have the public and the private national institutions of Somalia. We have Yacademy, who is also our collaborator here. We have international students from Yacademy, and we have the Young Somali Talents, who are the students and the professionals and the diaspora, right? So Somalia has one of the biggest diasporas in the world, and we think that leveraging these talents, these homegrown talents, and the international expertise that we have was very important here. We have also we're also trying to establish collaboration here with different research organizations. We have the national research organizations here, the Heritage Institute of Policy Studies. We have also reached out to the Somali Institute of Architects, who are very interested to collaborate, and we have Krater here, who we've been working in our projects before as well. And we have Yak, who is our collaborator here, and we are also partnering with Omar Degan. He's a world-renowned Somali architect who is also giving his time and expertise to collaborate with us. So how the project will flow over the next 2 months is that this research will be held in what we are calling as working groups, right? So, so 5 working groups will be formed under this project, and 3 will be formed with the students joining us from Yacademy, the international students. We have the students and professionals from Somalia and the Somali diaspora, right? And these 3 working groups will be comprised each of 5 students, and 1 working group would be mentored by 1 architect who is a specialist in say low-cost housing and come from very global expertise. And then parallel to these mixed working groups, we have 2 national working groups now, who would be representing these public and private universities in Somalia. So we have 4 universities here. We have Somali National University, we have City University, Simad University, and Banadir University, and we are collaborating with the students from these 4 universities, and the lecturers, in fact, from these universities would be mentoring these 2 national working groups. So apart from the working groups and the mentors, we also are very much looking forward to the rich advisory panel that we have built over the last few weeks. And this advisory panel comprises of the local and international technical experts who are working in the context of Somalia. We have representatives from the government who would be, guiding the design development throughout the entire journey. Now I would like to just say hello and briefly introduce ourselves. Especially, we would like to hear from the mentors if they are present in the call, and then we would go to the advisory panel. So the mentors that would be mentoring the 3 mixed working groups, we have Dr. Salma Samar Damluji working together with Peter Murray and Graham Modlin. And then we have Raul Pantaleo and Anteo Sanada that will be mentoring these 3 working groups. So if Salma, Raul, or Anteo, if you're present in the call, please, the floor is yours, and please expecting a few words. Thank you.
So
You're
start.
muted, Salma.
Please, Salma. Salma, maybe you can start. Salma, please.
You're muted, Salma.
Can you turn on the microphone, Salma? We cannot hear you.
Is it possible for you to unmute Salma, please? Sorry. Is it possible to unmute Salma, please? Lena.
For me, because I'm sharing my screen, but
Okay.
I think it is possible from our side, or if kindly requesting my colleagues here to check. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, maybe we could try a bit later. Maybe when I just stop my screen sharing, maybe we could try bringing in Salma. But I saw that Graham was there online. Maybe Graham, if you're there and you would like to say something, or Peter, if he has joined.
I can talk a wee bit about Earth Architecture Lab. I'm a trustee along with Peter. Peter's not here this afternoon, but if I could sort of echo a little bit Salma's work in Yemen, and that as an inspiration towards this initiative in Somalia as a training in material, training in people, training in culture.
Finally.
Salma's on it.
Yes, forgive me. Team doesn't work on Apple computers easily. And so you have, and it's always a problem for me, but I always hope to be able to sort it out, but it's not, I think it's a technical issue. So my apologies for being late in joining. Thank you, Graham, for coming in. You could have continued. I will be working with a team, and we are part of the Earth Architectural Lab. Peter Murray, Graham Modlin are trustees in Earth Architecture Lab, and I would invite everybody just to open our website and look at it. It's much easier than talking for hours about what we do. But we basically work with reconstruction, particularly in disasters, like wars, conflicts, etc. My long trajectory has been in Yemen, as Graham mentioned, and it's also been a long life's journey with earth architecture, which includes natural materials that exist in different localities. Essentially, we've worked with mud, stone, shale, earth, rammed earth, all sorts of wood, bamboo, etc. So we look forward, and I have two important contributors in my team, which are quite relevant to the cause here of reimagining shelter and creating sustainable shelters that are viable, sustainable, and dignified for long term, because we agreed, I think, in a previous meeting that it's shelters that are used for short term, particularly in situations of natural or human disasters, often end up being long term shelters that are not satisfactory to communities. And it's very important to work with the community. I'm really very happy for this meeting and want to thank you for this colossal effort of bringing everybody together. I think that in itself is a huge task, and we look forward to collaborating with our colleagues, students, mentors, architects from Somalia, which is essential. It's key to us to be able to lead us on this journey. And I'm very happy to have with me Mariam Safi, who originally comes from Iran, and Isyas, who's also with us here, who has a lot of experience in Somalia and comes from Eritrea. So we are a colorful team in terms of experiences and associations, and as architects and non-architects, humanists. And we look forward to working with everybody here and hope to be able to have more opportunities of these long-term joint meetings. It's a pleasure and an honor to be with you all today. So thank you on behalf of my team for having us with you.
Thank you, Salma and Graham and Maria, Messia, welcome. Thank you for your comments. Next, Raul Pantaleo is here in the call with us. Raul, if you'd like to say something.
Yes, good afternoon. Yeah, I will be very quick. I'm a founder of TAM Associati. We have been working for almost 20 years in crisis area or war-torn area, but I don't want to talk of my work because I'm basically here to listen to our colleague from Somalia that will open up, I hope, the floor to the project. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Raul. Welcome. Glad you could join today. Next, we have Anteo Taro Sanada. Anteo, if you would like to also say something.
Yeah, hello everyone. I'm sorry, I'm also in the airport on the move. Sorry for the noise. I will be very brief too. At Kengo Kuma, we work a lot with natural materials and temporary structures. And although I don't have the experience of my colleagues in the field, I'm very looking forward to learn and to initiate this discussion. And I'm very happy that you invited me. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Anteo, and thank you to all the mentors. Next, we are moving on to the mentors who would be mentoring the national working groups. So we have the lecturers and professors from the different universities that we are collaborating with. And I would, just to make it a little easy, I would just take the names and I would wait for a few seconds. And if representatives are here, kindly speak. Thank you. First, we have Mus Ahmed from the City University of Mogadishu. Mus, if you're here, kindly unmute yourself.
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes, perfect. Thank you. Yes.
Thank you. My name is Musa Abdurrahman Ahmed. I'm an urban planner based in Mogadishu. I work in both the private and public sector in different capacities. And I'm here today as a mentor from City University of Mogadishu. Thank you.
Welcome, Muse. Thanks for joining the call today. Next, we have Abdullahi Muhuddin from City University as well. Abdullahi, if you're here. Maybe Abdullahi is not here with us today. Moving on, we can go to Liban Ali Sahal from Somali National University. Liban, if you're here, please, we would like to hear you. Thank you. Okay, moving on, we have Muhammad Haji Muhammad from Simad and Mogadishu University, who would be mentoring the national working groups. Muhammad, are you here with us today? Okay. Muhammad, are you here? Okay, moving on, we can go to Abdi Kafi, a lecturer from the Nadi University. Muhammad. Hello, is this Muhammad or Abdi Kafi? Okay, Abdi Kafi, if you're here, would you like to say hello?
Sorry, he's in here.
Yes, please.
Hello, Mr. Abdi Kafi.
Abdi Kafi.
In the system, yes, he's available.
Okay, Abdi Kafi, if you're here, would you like to say something?
Okay, never mind. On behalf of Abdikafi, and we are from Benadir University, and he is a civil engineer.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for representing Abdikafi, and welcome to the call today. We could move on to the advisory panel that we have here, and we are very proud of. So first we have Mohammed Abdi Mahmoud from the Ministry of Public Works. Mohammed, if you'd like to say something. Mohammed? Engineer Mohammed, are you here?
I don't know whether he's around, but
yes, maybe I am. Yes.
Yeah, I will be on behalf of him. Thank you, everyone. It's really great pleasure and honor for this inception today and for this project of titled Homegrown Sustainable and Scale-Up Shelter Solution in Somalia. And this meeting marks an important milestone as we officially begin to the project with the presentation and discussions for inception reports. The document lays out the foundation and work ahead and set tune collaboration and innovation for shared responsibilities. And we are brought to host together with IOM and YAC Academy and professionals, students, institutions to engage this process. Your participation today reflects a collective commitment of building resilience, inclusive and climate concession for community. Thank you, everyone. And we hope we conclude this project a good milestone. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Ayan. Thank you. Thank you for filling in. Next, we have Omar Degan. He is a renowned architect from the Somali diaspora and is also the principal architect of DO Architecture Group. Omar, if you'd like to say something, please.
Yeah, I don't know why the camera is not cooperating with me. Anyway, so good afternoon, everyone. I think it's great. I'm really happy to be here. I'm principal of the Architecture Group, as just mentioned. My work was predominantly in Somalia, but broadly in context of fragility worldwide. So everything from climate disruption to slum upgrade and conflict. I think it's also like I'm really glad to IOM and the work that you guys are doing. So I just want to briefly thank everyone that took their time to join that. And I also find a bit fascinating to, and I'm happy to say that you know, your mentoring are great, and especially I remember Raul when he came to my university at the Polytechnic of Torino and he presented his project in Port Sudan. I was a student back then. And I keep recalling now that I'm teaching architecture is project. So he has a special place in with me. And also just I want to say hi to Salma too. Unfortunately, we miss each other. We're supposed to be not long ago in a discussion together in Kuala Lumpur, but that didn't happen. So it's great to manage to collectively be in here in what is my hometown, right? And talking about Somalia. So I'm really happy of the work that we're gonna do, and I think you guys of IOM Place put together an extraordinary group of people from Somalia and abroad and international. So good job to everyone, and looking forward to chat with everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, Omar. Thank you for joining us today as well. Next, we have Ibrahim Mukhtar, who is representing us from the Heritage Institute of Policy Studies. If you're here, Ibrahim, would you like to say something?
Hello, everyone. Ibrahim is not here, but I will talk on behalf of him. My name is Yusuf Omar. From Heritage Institute for Policy Studies, and I'm happy to be here with this well-informed group of engineers and architects as well. We will learn a lot, and from our side, we will also contribute to our research skills. Our knowledge of understanding the social issues, the cultural and the values, how to connect the cultural and the values to the architecture. and to the buildings as well, as the Minister Ilmi actually indicated, have to be, part of our identity, our Somali values, and maybe historical, elements of Somali buildings as well. So will be our, opportunity to be working with you in the future. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Yusuf. Next, we have Enrique from the International Center for Earth Architecture, Krater. Enrique, if you're in the call, if you'd like to say something, please.
Yes, hello everyone. I don't know if my camera is working. I hope you're hearing me.
Yes.
I'm very happy to be here. I'm an architect. I work in the Habitat Division of Krater, the International Center for Earth Construction. We are in a research laboratory in the University of Grenoble in France, as well as an association for the development and implementation of projects based in local building cultures. And we have been working in Somalia for 3 or 4 years now with the shelter cluster in Somalia and with IOM. And we will be very happy to share with you and learn from your practices and the process that is going to start. And we are going to be very happy also to share what we have learned in these past years regarding these local building cultures in Somalia, the use of local materials and know-how, and everything that we have been able to learn. So yes, happy to be part of this process.
Super. Thank you, Enrique. Thank you for joining us this afternoon. Next, we have the advisors who are joining us from the academy institutions. So I would go to Mohammed Muhyiddin Ali from City University. Mohammed, if you'd like to say a few words. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Mohammed Muhyiddin Ali. I hope you guys can hear me.
Yes.
We at City University of Mogadishu proud of to collaborate on the homegrown sustainable scalable shelter solutions in Somalia. This initiative aims to address critical housing needs of displaced populations across Somalia through innovative, low-cost, scalable shelter design. In partnership with Somali diaspora, local professionals, and international experts, we aim to leverage local knowledge and global expertise to create sustainable housing solutions. Our local students and faculty will play an integral role in developing context-sensitive shelter models that are culturally appropriate, environmentally sustainable, and adaptable to the evolving needs of displaced families. Through this project, City University is committed to contributing to the national transformation process and enhancing the well-being of Somalia's most vulnerable populations. Thank you.
Thank you, Mohammed. Thank you for joining us from City University. Next, we have Reish Adam from Benadir University. If you're here, Adam, and would like to say a few words. Okay, if I could move on, also keeping in mind the time that we have Professor Muhammad Abdul Qadir from Somali National University. If you're here, Professor, and would like to say a few words. Okay, moving on, Mohammed Okash from Simad University. If Simad University is here and would like to say something. Okay. Maybe I could move on to the IOM Somalia team. So we also have our engineers from the field and our so we could move on to the next slide, which is and I invite here Abdi Nafa from Baidoa field team, who is joining us and who would give us an overview of our field activities. Over to Abdinafa. Thank you.
Thank you, Lina. Hi, everyone. I'm really happy to be in this meeting. And I just want to start by saying a big thank you to all the local and international students, also to IAC and to everyone involved in putting this initiative together. It's really inspiring to see this kind of collaboration, bringing fresh ideas and local energy into something as important as shelter for displaced communities. I'm excited. To introduce myself, my name is Abdinafa. I'm here also on behalf of the SNFI field teams, where we have 3 dedicated teams working directly with displaced families and vulnerable communities. These teams are based in Mogadishu, also in Dolo, also in Baidoa and Bosaso. Our day-to-day work involves everything from shelter construction, NFI distribution, and MBCA, or multi-purpose cash system. Being on the ground every day keeps us closely connected to the challenges people are facing and the kind of support they really need. What we see every day in that, what we see every day is that people are doing their best to build safe and dignified lives, often in a very difficult environment with limited resources. That's why this initiative is so important, because we really do need low cost, sustainable, and locally appropriate shelter solutions which respond to those realities. As field teams, we are fully committed to supporting you, the working groups, through this journey. If you need technical input, field data or photos, or even just a bit of insights what's working or not working on the ground, we are here for you anytime. So don't hesitate to reach out. We are happy to collaborate and support however we can. And finally, we are really looking forward to seeing the ideas and designs you will come up with. Let's make this practical and impactful. Thank you all. Over to you, Lina.
Thank you, Abdinafa. Thank you for joining today's call and also representing the field here. Here, I would also like to mention that Abdinafa and myself and Boshra and my colleagues here, we all work under the Shelter NFI unit, which sits under the IOM structure of EPC, Emergency and Post-Crisis Unit. But we also have colleagues from the other units of resilience programming. We have colleagues from the Durable Shelter Solutions that are also with us in this call today and is also collaborating with us in this initiative. So we are a big team, but the bigger effort is in the field and where it comes from. And over from my side, I would like to now invite Marta, who is a colleague and working with us on this collaboration as well. She's the project officer of shelter programming, and over to her to introduce the brief. Thank you.
So thank you everyone for joining again. It is a pleasure to see the big gathering and really excited about this initiative. So in the interest of time, I will briefly go over the project brief and maybe just skim through the scenarios, which will be the base work for the working groups. So this initiative aims to provide context-informed solutions for Somalia. And the coordination group has developed 4 different scenarios in 4 cities of Somalia. Each scenario includes information on the site, the environmental conditions, and other pre-existence conditions and aspects that will help inform the different solutions. The 4 scenarios that we will be also providing to the different technical working groups have been developed around cities where the technical team has extensive projects and knowledge about. This is to be able to provide realistic scenarios that, although they are imaginary, we are hopeful that through the field team and through all the work we have done already, we can provide the ideal context and information for the students and working groups to develop meaningful solutions. So the working groups will work on these scenarios, and specific context-based shelter, plot, block solutions, and ultimately site layouts are the objective of this exercise. For the scenario working, the groups will be provided with the necessary documents, such as geolocated AutoCAD files, the updated project brief, and specific scenarios and documents that will inform the context, as well as all the support we can give from the advisors and the rest of the team. So the way in which the work will be organized is in the following manner. As already mentioned, there will be a total of 5 working groups. For the 3 mixed working groups, the same 3 scenarios will be provided. So the 3 mixed working groups mentored by international architects will get the Dolo scenario, the Baidoa scenario, and the Bosaso scenario. Each working group is expected to develop a specific context-informed solution, considering the site assessments and also profiling of the affected communities, which we have also provided in each scenario. For the 2 national working groups, what we are proposing is a unique scenario in Mogadishu. What we would expect is that each national working group would be able to provide 3 solutions for this specific scenario, and also linked to the specific challenges that Mogadishu has in terms of housing, land availability, and all this is also provided in the scenarios. So just to give a bit more information, if you can go to the next slide. For each scenario, and this like few sketches that you see on the lower part of the slide are just an example, but for each scenario, we are asking the working groups to work at different scales. So all groups should develop different options in line with humanitarian standards and the technical guidance that we will provide you. We will provide you with BOQs, with market materials of different items that you might need to develop shelter designs. Also, we will give you specific guidelines that are in line with the SPHERE standards and some considerations that are relevant to developing this work. So the starting point of this initiative is to develop homegrown, sustainable and scalable housing solutions. However, the housing unit, it is the starting point, and it is essential to provide dignified living conditions. But housing is not only a product, it's also a process, and its construction and design can include components such as implementation modality, including local materials, involving the community to take part in construction, thinking of capacity building and how to integrate these responses to make it even more meaningful and to promote ownership. So for meaningful housing proposals, the context and the surrounding need to be considered too. And this is why within each scenario, the working groups will be asked not only to work on the housing unit itself, but also to consider the plot, which might have or might include household level activities, the size of the plot, but also an integrated proposal where the grouping of plots can also provide blocks or clusters of shelters, which will eventually define the specific layouts of the sites for each scenario. So each layer will incorporate different elements that ultimately will inform the final proposals. And for each scenario and each location, we expect different solutions. So just to not take a lot of time, and just because you can go to the next slide, just because all of the working groups will like get the proper like scenarios, the description, and also the IOM team will be available to, like I think, will be available to respond any questions on the scenarios and to provide more feedback or more information. Just very briefly, the Baidoa scenario is set like in a, it's set up 4 kilometers away from the city, and the terrain used to be a quarry. So there will be some challenges related to the type of terrain, but also the type of scenario and the profiling of the community that we are meant to assist, which is in this case, a pastoralist community from a minority clan. If we go to the next scenario, which is Dolo, this site could be a bit more challenging. It's set in a more urban environment, and it's divided into 3 parcels. And this scenario considers households that have been displaced due to flooding, since Dolo is a border city that is very next to a river. Next slide. So the Bosaso scenario is also quite unique. Bosaso is a port city in the north of Somalia. And currently there is a city expansion plan. Some of the planned interventions are the expansion of the port and also the improvement of some of the main roads. These interventions might affect some of the IDP sites. And this is why in this scenario, the government has already undertaken a study to assess the voluntary relocation of some community members. And up to now, a total of 225 have accepted, but conditionally to the type of support that will be given. And for the last scenario in Mogadishu, this scenario is set in the area of Dainile, which is a very dense area of the urban city of Mogadishu. And being the capital of Somalia, it attracts like many displaced people in looking for opportunities. So in this specific scenario, we are dealing with sites that are overcrowded. So in this scenario, a site has been secured by the local government, and an international organization has the resources to support 500 households in this area. However, the size of the site might not be enough to provide shelter solutions to these 500 shelters. So for this scenario, we would be expecting other shelter support interventions, creative. So these are, in a nutshell, the 4 scenarios. Again, the working groups will have the chance to look into detail. And just to highlight that within these scenarios and to develop all the proposals, there are many cross-cutting topics that are essential to the success or to the context-informed shelter or housing solutions. Some of these include the considerations on land property, the acceptability of typology, are the suggested materials or designs accepted by the community. Also, we are aiming for proposals that have 2 rooms, where the shelters have 2 rooms. It's important to understand the stakeholders involved in each scenario, the gender aspects, if we can include a livelihood component, what is the accessibility, inclusivity of these shelters, and so on and so forth. So for the last slide, we are really looking forward to seeing, like in a context like Somalia, and with these imaginary scenarios which are proposed, what you can come up to. So over from my side.
Thank you, Martha. Thank you for the brief explanation here. So as Martha said, we would be sending the project brief to all of the participants, mentors, advisors, with the full package of all the drawings, the Civil 3D files, all of the soft copies as well, so that you could start the work. Just to also take you through very briefly the timeline for engagement, it's approximately a 2-month engagement process for this program, and before today, like we've been collaborating and trying to put together what we have now, as you can see, and today is the first day all of us are meeting, but and today or tomorrow would be you would receive the project brief and on all of the packages. So, and as Martha was talking about all the cross-cutting topics, that is also very, very essential for us to think about the shelter settlements programming. We would be hosting also a webinar week, and this webinar week will, in a bit of detail, talk about, say, the critical conditions that needs to be taken into account while designing the shelters. So we would be having the advisors giving one-on-one webinars to the working groups, touching very important topics such as the cultural aspects, the dynamics of how Somali societies are, the living conditions. Also, we would be having a bit of technical webinars talking about, say, the assessments and the research that has been done already, the work that IOM has been doing across Somalia, and the different materials that we have experimented with, the different techniques that we have experimented with and prototyped. So we would be talking and sharing a bit of that, and most importantly, we'll be sharing the challenges that we have been facing. And this is what we are calling as, injecting the essential information that is required for the technical working group, for the working groups to be keeping in mind. And then we would have the mid reviews and the final reviews, so which are also a little tentative as of now, but we would inform well in advance when these reviews are, and we would expect everyone who is here in this meeting to also be a part of the mid reviews and the final reviews, so that we could see how the design development is progressing. And then eventually there will be an internal voting process, and 3 best proposals would be selected by the end of it. And as Martha said, we would also be available online to clear any doubts of the working groups. Abdi Nafa, who is also leading from the field, we would be present to help guide the working groups in any way possible.